everybody. Welcome back to The Frequency. As usual, I'm your girl, Chris Maria, and I'm joined with my amazing co-host, Q. Q, what's been up? How you been doing?
I'm glad to be here again with you, gracing the screen, and I'm glad we have another guest here to help us out and, move along.
And help us get with the frequency. We talk about frequency. I know a lot of people said that we were going to come in with jewels and crystals, and now we have somebody to teach you all about it. We have the lovely Miss Brittany Andrea Martin. I'm so happy to have you here.
Hi. Welcome.
We're going to be talking about her metaphysical shop and her wellness studio. So Brittany, I just want to jump right in because we have a ton of questions, but I want you to give the viewers and the listeners, how you got started, where you're gonna be soon. But yeah, tell us how you got started. We've known Brittany for a long time, so just tell us how you got started. What made you get into this?
That's an LN alum right there.
I know, yeah. So I would say my whole journey really truly began when I left Indianapolis and moved to Los Angeles. A lot of people don't realize that when I left Indianapolis, I was like running away from like issues, just trying to forget everything in the past and just be someone different. Not necessarily be someone different, but just all that I had gone through in Indianapolis had made me hate myself. Like I was done with myself and I moved to LA. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go by my middle name because Brittany's trifling. I hate the decisions that she's made. I don't like her. So I was running away. But when I ran away to Los Angeles, there was no one else out there that I really knew, you know what I mean? So I was left with myself. And I found myself in my depression. I was like, I cannot be this way anymore. So that started a whole journey of trying to figure out what I needed to heal and to grow. And I started to get to know myself better, which turned into liking myself a little bit more, which turned into caring for myself a little bit more, which turned into wanting to see myself do better, and then eventually learning to love myself and be my best friend, you know what I mean? And in that process, I started this little blog called Black Girl Loving Herself because a lot of the tools that I was giving myself, I was like, this works. Like, this really is helping me in my journey. And I just wanted to share that with other people. And then I began living more intentionally because in wanting to help other people, I wanted to, get a yoga certification. I wanted to, make sure I had these things under my belt so that I could do that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to work at a yoga studio. And then I want to do this. And everything I did was intentional in LA, even if I had to ride the bus 2 hours to get to work, because I knew this was going to help me for my end point of where I was going.
That's a grind right there.
I love that. I love that.
2 hours.
And yeah, I mean, I had to do what I had to do because I was trying to go where I wanted to go. I mean, I could have worked around the corner, some other place, but intentional living got me to where I'm at now. And so then just in wanting to share further, I decided to create Enlighten Love. And it's just a company based on helping others, through their healing process, through their spiritual journeys, through finding their inner power and their inner divine. And I call it Enlighten Love because enlighten means, teach someone something new, but most importantly, to love them through it. Because through my journey of healing, all the support and all the love, like I go back to my partner, we've been together for 8 years too. So he's known the depressed, sad Brittany, you know what I mean, has gone through the roller coaster with me. He literally helped love me through my process. And I thought that was very important. So it was Enlighten and Love. So I'm going to love you through it too. Because love is really going to change the world. I feel so corny saying that, but it's true.
We need it. No, you're not lying. We do need it though.
We do need it. Brittany, honestly, honest to God, when I was the same way, I was like, people just, I think I came on here one day and I said, people just really need more love. And everybody was like, what is wrong with you? I was like,
you know what I think it is? And what changed my perspective on love was I had to give myself a definition of love that was actually workable. You know what I mean? So instead of this love that we see in the movies, it's like, ooh, I just love you. And that type of love, I read this book, and there was a definition of love that was the will to extend oneself for another or one's own personal or spiritual growth.
Mm.
And I said, that is love to me. And that is what I'm always going to give to myself. I'm going to always extend what I need to myself and to others. And that is love. And so that's what I live by love as. So
That's
that
wonderful.
helped a lot.
No, that's great. I like to view the world, because the world is very cruel, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to come up to that harsh reality of
Right.
people are just ain't shit. So how do you kind of like maneuver as I wanted to, well, how did you maneuver when you went out to LA, kind of reinventing yourself into a different person and molding yourself and really to one you want into what the woman you want to be? How did you continue to keep that kind of that love for other people and to continue to extend it, even though the world is not going to give you the same love that
Right.
you
Right.
give out?
Boundaries. And, it's not always about being nice to everyone because you got to be real. Like, I remember I grew up like watching my mom and aunt tell people off. So sometimes I feel like somebody like if you need that, I don't know, but boundaries are a really big thing for me. And I'm not afraid to, exert my boundaries. I will remove myself from situations. I'm always very intuitive about people and places. And if the vibe is right, if it's not right, I'm not going to continue to insert myself. I'm not going to talk to that person. You know what I mean? But there is an understanding from a lens of compassion that people act out of how they feel on the inside. So just having that understanding and not taking things personal is how I had to maneuver just through life and through everything. Like, they're not doing that because of me. They're doing it because of how the state of their heart, whatever they've gone through, whatever protective thing that they have going on with themselves. So always understanding that when I come in contact with anyone has been the main thing.
And to add on to that, though, how many people do you think you have left in the past just by how you move now? You probably have lost some, good connections with people that you've known for a long time. Do you feel like you've kind of breaking away from them completely, or you just know how that you have to keep them at a distance and how you move with them?
Well, I don't think that there's been very many people that have actually like had to like cut out or do anything like that with. Because if you're around me, you're gonna, how I am. It's when I started to love myself more, it required more of the people around me, and you fall off or not. You know what I mean? I've had situations of, well, a recent situation where um someone I thought was a friend was talking about me behind my back after one of the hardest things I've ever gone through. And it's just, you know what? If that's the energy you give, I'll bow out. You know what I mean? We don't have to talk about it. That's not energy that I want to even bring up. You know what I mean? So it's just a graceful bow out, and I'll respect you, and I can be compassionate, like, you know what I mean? But for what I need, my boundaries, I just so there hasn't really been anywhere I'm like, nah, you're cut off. It's either we're going to talk about it, or it is what it is.
I love that. I also love the fact that I think, like, for some people, you have to extend a little bit of grace. I think grace is so important and grace is so big when you are finding people that fall off, but you have to let people fall off how they're going to fall off. I mean,
Yeah.
like, at the end of the day, you can't control what other people do. And sometimes those people are weighing you down. If you don't want them in your corner, you don't want them in your corner. I don't know if it's because we're the same sign. I'm not really sure. But I'm like, when you're speaking, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's exactly how I feel. Like, I feel like people need a lot more love. What you do with the love and the energy that I'm pouring out is on you. Yeah. But I can't change who I am. You know what I mean? So oh my gosh, Brittany, I just love that.
And I honestly, I don't lean on people too much. I have to have my back. At the end of the day, it's going to be Brittany who's actually going to care about Brittany 100%, because other people have all these other things going on. So yes, I can have friends and everything, but my girl, that's me. I can hang out with me. I have a good time with me. Any addition, I'm gonna peep you out, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I got who I need. So,
and I think like in this generation, the generation of social media and this perfectionism that needs to go on, that has been happening, I think we lose sight of that. I think we lose sight of, you know, like, you have to be you. Like, at the end of the day, you got to bet on you. You got to want to date you. Like we were, I mean, like we were just talking about it. People don't want to date themselves. They want to just automatically get with somebody else and be like, love me, love me. How you want me to love you in this kind of way? You don't even love yourself. Like, so what you need?
There was a time in my relationship where I was like, I just don't even know if I can love him right, because I'm not even loving me right. You know what I mean? So like, that was real. But he's been a godsend just on my journey. I mean, of course there have been difficult times, but allowing me to learn how to love me so that I can give better to him. And just that realization that we need to feel ourselves properly before we can give to anyone has been such a good lesson too. So
I want to pivot a little bit, you know, off the love, you know, even though all the world needs is love, you know, but whatever.
True love.
I do want to pivot a little bit, and I want to ask you like a couple of questions. Like, is there certain like crystals that you get into that kind of like, can you break down that whole ideology of how that works? You know, just in the first place for people who don't have any idea.
The whole thing.
Yeah. So crystals. So just in general, everything is energy and has its own vibration. Us, the computer, you know, even objects that we don't think, these beautiful plants. So, you know, like they all have vibrations. And what crystals are, they each have their own vibration as well. Each has a different meaning, a different purpose. And once that energy interacts with our energy, it can be helpful and healing. So like, for example, I should have brought more, but I mean, I have one on me now. It's carnelian, and it's for confidence. You know, on the new moon, I made a lot of intentions about continuing to move confidently through all that I'm doing, and continuing to move confidently through all I'm doing. So I programmed this stone, and it's going to help remember that intention whenever I carry it, whenever I have it with me. So that they interact differently. So some of the big popular ones are rose quartz. It's a stone of love. I know we're trying to get off of love, but it's a stone of love, and it can, you know, enhance loving yourself. It can enhance compassion in any situation. Amethyst, birthstone of Aquarius, is good for like spiritual growth, you know, or just trying to grow. Another popular one, lapis lazuli, is a stone of truth. You know what I mean? To help you to speak your truth, you know, and to see the truth in situations. So each has a different meaning that can help us in our life.
So do these stones, do they already, I know you're saying each one of them have a different meaning, but can you, because I've heard so many different things, can you give it a different meaning, or the meaning is what the meaning is, or can you like kind of set the tone like with your own vibration? Does that make sense? Like with your own energy, like I want this to be X, Y, and Z, because that's right, because that's how it works, right? I can grab like a pair of scissors and be like, you know what, I want this pair of scissors to be the energy of X, Y, and Z, right? Is that how it works? Because I mean,
so with crystals, no, each one has its own vibration. So like rose quartz is the stone for love. You know what I mean? So say you get rose quartz and you cleanse the stone, and, you know, setting your intention with the stone by having it in your hand, you say, I intend to enhance, you know, loving myself more. You know, with along the lines of what the stone is used for, you can come up with any affirmations or any goals based on that. And that's why people have collections, you know, this stone for this stone, this stone for this one. There is a stone called clear quartz that magnifies the intention of anything. So if you have clear quartz, you can program that, and it can be used for anything. Clear quartz is used in our phones and our computers and in technology. So
I do have when you say program it, it kind of sounds like what people say about like affirmations and when you say programming, like basically you're programming this crystal to, like give yourself like you said, the good intentions of that. How, like Crystal said about them, like how are they, like if you don't know, like someone's completely foreign to it, like myself, how do you know really, not necessarily what to look for, but like what it is that you like need in your life? Because it's like, say if someone was saying like want love and money maybe, or health, whatever that is, like, and can I have all three if I wanted to, or do I need to like focus on one thing first and then let it play out, let that play out and then go to the next one? I don't know, is that like kind of like fusing too many things, or I don't know?
No, not at all, because you can set intentions. So like with affirmations, you're setting intentions as well. You can, that's why people build altars. You know what I mean? That's why they'll have different crystals on a desk, anything, because yes, they can all have their own intention and you can pick them up at any moment, but they can all work together. You can focus on bringing love, into your life. But I would honestly suggest, if you're going to actually be doing like work or ritual around it, to maybe focus on that ritual, that intention for a week. I throughout throughout COVID, just with everything going on in terms of like Black Lives Matter and like George Floyd and all of that, I was very angry at everyone that was not Black. Just being honest, I just had this anger, like, what are y'all doing? Like, you know what I mean? Is it safe or not? Did everybody just wake up or not? You know what I mean? Because it's crazy. So in realizing that I had a lot of anger for a week straight, I did these affirmations like, I am safe, I let go of anger. I did that for a week to really kind of make sure that energy got out. So focusing, of course, definitely, like tunnel vision is definitely going to help magnify it. So I would definitely recommend focusing on an intention for like a week or so. Yeah.
That's crazy. So when you say, I'm curious, like what made you kind of like be mad at everybody who wasn't Black? Did you feel like in that moment they kind of dropped the ball on,
No, not drop the ball, but it was kind of like another, whoa, what's happening in the world again?
Right.
I feel like the first experience I had with that was the Trayvon Martin case. It was like, whoa, are we safe? It was more of a, am I safe right now?
Yeah.
Am I safe as a Black woman in the world? So that's what it was. I was not feeling safe.
Yeah.
At all with anything. And so I was just like, I don't know who to trust. Like, did you wake up or did you not? Had you been knowing that racism was a thing, or did you? So that was just kind of difficult for me to go through, to be honest.
Do you are there any crystals or stones that kind of promote like wealth or protection or what's the word that I want to use? Healing. Like let's say you broke your arm or something. Is there just to promote healing? I know they probably can't necessarily physically heal, but to promote healing, like as in like herb, because you can have herbs and oils and things like that to help. Because I'm very into like holistic healing over modern medicine. For some things, I do think modern medicine is needed for some things, but I would rather go the holistic healing route before I go to modern medicine. It's my life,
All of the stones promote healing in any way. Because like say you use rose quartz, you can use it to promote healing in a broken relationship, with family or a friend or anyone. So all of the stones promote healing. Specifically protection would be Black tourmaline or like selenite. I have a combination of selenite and Black tourmaline by my balcony window by a plant, and so it's protecting our home. A stone for healing would be like zeolite. I don't know if you guys have heard of Reiki, like Reiki healing. It's a type of energy healing, and in those sessions, the practitioner will bring any stone needed to complete that healing, because all the stones have healing energy. It can help that.
So is it the minerals in the stones that carry the the healing more so? Is
It's
it
the
the movement?
vibrations. It's the
Okay.
vibrations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. What's your favorite one? What's your favorite? Your favorite, if you have a
Ooh, that's a
My
good
favorite.
one.
favorite is amethyst. Yeah, it's amethyst. I'm gonna
And
make
why?
amethyst everything I have because, well, one, it's my birthstone. And then two, it's just a stone of spiritual growth, and like I am a very spiritual person, and it's very beautiful to look at. So I like it for that reason. But I'm committed to my spiritual path. I'm committed to my higher self and following what my higher self wants and my soul. I'm living by my soul, so amethyst helps do that. So it's my favorite.
I love that. I love that. So if you were promoting, so do you feel like yoga and all the, because it's all mind, body, and soul, right? That goes into your
Yeah,
spiritual being. So
yeah,
I think that's really important. I tell Sam that all the time. Like even the way you stand can help promote, better. It can
yeah,
help you think better, and
yeah.
the foods
hmm
you eat can help you, think better and
Exactly.
awake better, and so you can
That's
reach this
what
higher
holistic
conscious.
means.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
holistic means
everywhere.
all of these things work together. So I never want somebody to think I'm just doing yoga or I'm just, into crystals or I'm just into meditation or, it all works together. And another big misconception is that, being spiritual has to be yoga and meditation and all things. It's literally anything that helps you connect to your inner being. I
Yes.
have this spiritual teacher that says, our souls are dichotomies. You know what
Ooh.
I mean? So as long as you're following your true self, as long as you're connecting with who you are on the inside, so what if you out in a motorcycle gang and you don't do yoga? Maybe when you're riding your motorcycle, it helps you be mindful. It helps you be in the present. You know what I mean? So that's a big part of it for me too, is allowing myself to express all the different sides of myself and not feeling like I have to be confined to this box of what it looks like to be spiritual. Me being spiritual is me being comfortable in my being. So
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I
I
like
love
that.
that.
I like
I like
that.
that too. I like that too. And I think that's what it is. But I think that we have all these distractions in today's
Yeah.
society that is constantly, and I don't know. No, never mind. I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna go there
no,
today.
we definitely have distractions in society because I think the goal of society is to keep you away from your inner power. How else are they going to
Fair.
sell stuff? Because
Amen.
you think you need everything outside of yourself to heal or do whatever, but literally everything you need is within you. Your
Yeah.
breath, your mind. All you need is affirmations, and you know what I mean? Like there have been many times where I have changed the course of what's going on in my life solely by affirmation, solely by living
Woo!
intentionally. Like starting my business, I'm like, how did I start doing this? Intentionally. Things were like up and down, of course, but
Right.
I had to, attract things to me. I say we live in a participatory universe. The universe is literally trying to help us get what we want. Even like when we're putting out negative energy, people don't realize it. It's all coming back to you. Whether you think what you're doing is not affecting the outside world, it is. So be intentional, be positive. It's not positive vibes all the time, but
As
you
much as
need to
possible.
be positive all the time so
Yeah.
you want that good to
Right.
come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Me,
yeah,
we talk about that all the time because people are so
We
quick
do.
to be like, manifest this, manifest that. But you have to change your mindset. You have to change your tone of what
literally.
you're speaking. If you're constantly speaking down on somebody, like you said, that stuff's gonna come right back to your life.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
you can't have this negative energy and exude that out and expect to never get it
Right.
back. So you have to
Right.
change your tone, you have to change your mindset. And like you said, you have to connect with your inner being. And that's how you reach these higher consciousness, these higher frequencies, everything.
Exactly.
I want to pivot back a little bit. I want to get back onto your shop. I know that you're right now in
Okay.
Indianapolis, and I know you've been in LA,
Yeah.
but I want to take a moment so people know where to find you and the things that you're offering in your shop. So please
Okay.
definitely shout out where your shop is, if you're going to have another pop-up
Okay.
shop soon. So let them know where you're going to be.
So the pop-up is in Fountain Square, Indianapolis at
Ooh.
1102 Prospect Street. We are here until May 31st. You can find crystals and other metaphysical tools. Like I have face rollers. I have books
Okay,
as
so
well.
can you talk about that? The face roller, what is that? I've seen that a lot. What does that do?
It's a beauty tool, and it helps like improve the elasticity of your skin. It's also a really good tool for being mindful. You know, if you need something to help calm you down, you can just roll your face. So I roll up towards the ear on either side, and then from the nose to the ear on either side.
And which one you using?
Yeah.
Because your skin looks amazing, girl. Which
Oh
one you
my
Right.
gosh, I
So,
using?
use the amethyst.
of course, of course, of course.
So yes, and also books that have helped me on my journey. I also have incense because having smell has helped me be
Hmm.
present and mindful, you know what I mean? And then I also am teaching yoga and meditation classes.
How important do you think that it is to take the time to meditate? Like you said, you don't have to necessarily get down and
Oh
kind of
yeah.
just sit there and meditate, but maybe you're meditating while
Exactly.
you're painting, or but how important, because me and Sam talk about that a lot too, how important it is to
Yeah.
just take a moment, be in the moment of where you are, and feel everything that's going on. So how important do you think for somebody that is maybe, you know, struggling with depression or struggling, like doesn't really like themselves, like is on the beginning of their
Hmm.
journey, what will be something that you would tell them? Would you tell them, you know, start with meditation, or where could they start?
Most definitely.
That's good. That's
So
open.
with meditation, the end goal is to become the observer of your mind. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So you're looking at your thoughts, right? So of course, when we're meditating, we're trying to be silent, but we have thoughts. That's never not going to happen ever. You know what I mean? So you learn how to notice a thought and not carry on down the track of it. Like, I'm hungry. Okay, well, what am I going to eat tomorrow? I had this last night and it was good. You just keep going on, but instead of you say, I'm hungry. Okay, I noticed the thought, but then I'll bring the focus back to my breath. And that helps you just strengthen a muscle of getting back to what it is while you're meditating or in life. And so sometimes in the beginning stages of my meditation practice, I even let my thoughts run at one point to see all the thoughts I'm thinking. And I'm realizing I'm thinking about this a lot. I'm thinking about that a lot. Okay. So now that I'm the observer of my mind, I'm going to take out those negative thoughts. Because what's the truth here? You're not trash. Let's just take that out, you know what I
Right.
mean, and replace it with something positive. Sometimes you can do a meditation where you're like, I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful, and you just fill yourself properly with affirmation. So the end goal is to be the observer of the mind, and that's really what you're learning through meditation.
I love that. I am, you know, I used to be very negative on myself, and I'm an overthinker. I don't know if you're the same way. I don't know if that's
Mhm.
one of our traits,
Yeah, most
but
definitely. Up in your head.
yeah, always in my head. I'm always in my head. So one of the things that I used to say was, even when I couldn't, like when I was going through my hard time, even when I couldn't see the end, like I couldn't get through, I would just say positive for every negative thought. And I had a lot of negative thoughts. I would replace it with more positive thoughts. So for every
Mm-hmm.
one negative thought, I would put two more positive thoughts in there for that one negative thought,
Mm-hmm.
to just help start to cleanse my mind
Mm-hmm.
from all the crap, just like
Yeah,
crap, like, oh, you're not going to be anything. You're not, no, I will be
it's a
something. I will
practice.
be. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
you got to strengthen the muscle.
We got to strengthen the muscle, because again, I always harp on this, and I harp on this so much, is society tries so, and I'm glad you said it, because I didn't want Q to start talking about, here she goes, she's gonna start talking about the government and blah blah blah. So I was
That's
like, I'm
real.
glad
No,
you said
man,
it.
no, no, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
She's about to get on a whole tangent of conspiracy theories, but I do believe that they want to weaken us in order to control. But I'm gonna stay clear, okay? I'm gonna stay clear.
So you can help someone like find their stone that they need as well,
Yes,
as far
I
as
can definitely help you find it. Yeah, yeah. As what
okay.
you're looking for. But then also, I tell people, because the whole thing is beginning to connect to yourself and listen to your intuition and your own inner
Mm.
guidance. And so, if you're a true beginner, I'll just have you walk around the shop for a little bit first and see what's calling to you, because you know better than I know. You know what I mean? I mean, I am intuitive and I do get things like, okay, yeah, you need to go get this over here. But
Right.
even if it's like, what, I've been feeling this way, or if you see one that you're drawn to, I tell people to go with that.
Okay.
I want to ask you about astrology signs, like Q knows. I always ask everybody, and it's weird. Like my cousin will say, Crystal knows everybody's sign. And okay. I used to be really big into it, but then I felt like it started to, what's the right word? Govern my life and control my life. I would be like, I used to see somebody like, oh, that's a Sagittarius, I don't want to hang out with them, whatever. So I started to feel like I was getting too deep into it, and I don't want anything governing my life,
right.
except for God. But, so I'm just like, I stopped. But I want to know, like, do you think there was everything's intentional? Like, I know sometimes with numerology, they'll add up these numbers and they'll say everything, they can kind of coordinate how things come into the world or the universe or however you want to look at it. Do you think that the sign that you were born, the time, the date, and everything that you were born is intentional for the purpose and path that you have when walking into this life? I know that's kind of...
So you can definitely use all of that information to gauge what you may encounter in your life. It all is helpful information. I remember when I got deeper into this, I was like, Mom, what time was I born? On the birth certificate. I need you to go find it, And she's like, oh, it's not on there. Ask your dad. Daddy don't know. So I sent her up to the birth certificate office, like, for real. Oh, and my mom was like, I'm not to pay for this, but can you just tell me what time it is? But knowing, when we were born, at the time we were born, all the planets are in a particular aspect, and that can give us information for moving forward in life. And it's not to tell your future or anything like that, but it really helps with, present situations. Each planet each crystal has its own meaning, has its own thing that it governs, whether it's money or family, relationships, anything like that. And with that, you get your birth chart. And I'm actually, my sun sign is Aquarius, but I'm also a Gemini moon. So I have traits of a Gemini sometime, and I'm also a Libra rising. So you have to take into account all of those things. Mainstream astrology is just your sun sign, and then they really water it down. But that is a very helpful tool in figuring things out too.
I love that. Because I'm always like, me and Sam always get into these deep conversations because he's a Pisces and I'm an Aquarius. And I know mainstream astrology says that we wouldn't be as compatible as we are. Yeah. So, and my daughter's a Pisces too. So I have two of them around me. Obviously I need it. But they really do. As an Aquarius, we tend to be a little bit more aloof, and I tend to be a little bit, I won't generalize every Aquarius because I'll let them be different in their own way.
I think it's kind of the same.
Yeah. I tend to be very overthinking, and I can very much so quickly detach from my emotions, and Pisces cannot. They're fillers, like that's their gift. And they have definitely taught me how to become more of a filler and a thinker. Okay. So is it based on birth date, your birth chart, on what controls, what planet controls?
When you're born. Yeah. Okay. When you're born, and then the birth time, because you'll see that's why there are different signs, and actually, each day of the week, is a different planet. You know what I mean? They're always moving. Yeah. So you can pinpoint at whatever time, I recently was like, man, I wonder what Nipsey's birth chart looked like.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wonder what that showed. I think some people actually do that, where they will look at, celebrities' birth charts, or people that has passed birth charts, to just kind of help gauge, see what that meant, what happened there. But yeah, it's a tool for sure.
I love something you had said earlier, that everything that's been created in the world is here to help us in some type of way. And I love that. Yeah. And I think we get away from that because then we just feel like we need to have all these other things, but really everything my mom used to tell me this all the time. She was like, God put everything in the world that you needed already. Everything, medicine, everything. It's already here, you know? And it's about the way that what you see and how you take it on. So my mom used to tell me that all the time. So I love that you said that, because I'm like, that is so helpful. I think think people need to get back to, like you said, the core. And I think it's hard when you are being trained and taught your whole entire life not to think like that.
Trained.
Yeah.
That's what awakening is. It's like, oh, what I was taught is not real. Like, I legit had a real, like, my dad called it cognitive dissonance when I was like, I was literally unlearning everything. You know, I did have a journey where I moved from Christianity to more African spirituality and those aspects. And that journey of my life was very scary, because I realized all that I was taught, and I'm trying to, you know, have a different understanding of God and who I am in God and what, you know, everything and how everything works. And it was very scary, but I'm so thankful that I did that, because you can see what's been trained and who's regurgitating information that has just been shoved down their throat. And to me, it's just you need to be empowered to search at least. It doesn't even matter where you end back up. You know what I mean? But as long as you decided for yourself, as long as you got all the information, as long as you come to a conclusion that works with you and resonates with you, that's what matters. And after the end of that, I was like, well, I could honestly choose any religion if I wanted to, because they're all kind of, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I got to that point, but I chose what I chose because how it resonated with me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm in relationship with God and myself, and that's what I let govern me, what resonates with me. If it don't resonate with you, filter that out.
Right.
Because that's what I mean. Because religion says, you know, God is like this, God is like that. You don't know, you know, you don't know my relationship. Your relationship different than my relationship. So we ain't the same.
There's this clip from Ayanna Van Zant on the Breakfast Club, and, you know, Charlamagne's like asking her how she got on her path or whatever. And she's like, you know what, I had to look back at my history and understand that my grandmother was Native American, and, you know, my African ancestors did this, and they looked at the way the sun and the stars move, and they looked at the planets, and they had reverence for the plants. And then I just had to ask myself, where does Jesus fit into this? And she was like, and it did it. You know what I mean? So then I had to go through a path where I continued a God of my own understanding, you know, and I was just like, wow. And after I heard that clip, I was just felt so much more comfortable with my exploration, you know, with my path and all of that. So I always go back to that.
Yeah. I love that. I love Ayanna Van Zant.
I love her. I do.
Love
people don't understand her, but she taught me, like, you really have to tell yourself the truth about yourself, no matter if it's nice, pretty, cute. If you a low down dirty hoe, you know what I mean? Like, you a low down dirty hoe, and that's the truth of it right now. You know what I mean? So it may be a bit of a harsh truth, and a harsh truth isn't the best, but she taught me you have to tell yourself the truth, no matter how ugly or scary it is.
Right. I want you to definitely let people know. One question. If somebody's starting the journey path, where would you tell them to start? And then let people know again where they can find you, your Instagram handles, and drop everything. Yeah.
If you want to start your path, my biggest, advice would be to maybe like sit down, take a few deep breaths in, exhale, and then ask God to just bring me whatever it is I need for this next part of my journey to heal, and because I allowed, like, God, what book do I need? And allow it to come to me, you know what I mean? And then from that book, I found this book, and it's just like little breadcrumbs, and you just keep going, and it is a journey, you know what I mean? But I would ask God to give you what you need next for my healing journey. And then Enlighten Love, you can find me on Instagram at Enlighten Love. Our website is enlightenlove.com. I also just made this a TikTok, Enlighten Love. And my Instagram is at Brittany Andrea Martin. But after this month, all of my inventory will be on the website. And also I will have on-demand yoga meditation classes and meditations and all of that stuff.
I'm definitely gonna have to attend, and I'm gonna definitely have to attend one of those. Brittany, and real quickly, I just love that what you just said. You know, you gotta ask God. I think people need to be willing to submit to the right thing too. So submit to yourself so you can reach that. Because doing what you're saying, like you need to ask God, like bring me anything and everything. I'm being completely vulnerable. I'm being completely submissive to whatever you have for me, because that's what I need. Brittany, oh my gosh, we got to have you back, man. I like seriously, I got so many questions about everything. Like, please, you guys, go check out Enlighten Love. Go check out the website. Go check out the Instagram. Get the stones. Get whatever you need, because this is like, listen. I want everybody to be on healing.
Master Flex right now. Yeah, give her all the roses. Give her all the roses.
Thank
seriously.
you.
Give her seriously.
I appreciate it.
You're doing a great thing, and I just want to keep encouraging you to keep, never get off the path that you're on.
It's a journey. I just find more power, so thank you. Always just flowing.
Can people hit you up and you can help them along with their journey, maybe?
Yes, most definitely. I'm actually about to start a soul circle group. I guess you guys hear it first. I'm going to start a soul circle group. But just because so many people have reached out to me throughout the years. Well, I see you doing this. You seem so happy. I see you healing. And I've been reconnected with so many people, and also have met amazing people who have just had the courage to be like, I love what you said here. How can I be on this path? And I actually have a friend who I've been helping a lot recently. And I'm just like, you're finding your power. You know what I mean? And it's so beautiful. So yes, definitely reach out to me. Yes, that's what I'm here for.
Well, you guys, as usual, go check out Brittany. Go check out Enlighten Love. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.